that. And so if I am so focused on staying on the line, I can't fulfill my assignment. But my God is big enough to handle my fault, my strokes, grubs, my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. I got to hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. But untying. And so the universe then has no choice. First attribute of the secret place. The secret place is a place of revelation. It makes you free because it awakens you and makes you consciously aware that everything that you thought what's holding you is an illusion. Good morning, good morning, good morning, splendiferous Sunday day morning. It is so good to see all of you that have joined me here on the Emerge movement this morning. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles, Senior, and I am so happy that you have tuned in and decided to be a part of this conscious conversation. I think today is going to be robust. It's going to be extensive. It should be a really good conversation. I am so looking forward to getting your input, insights, your thoughts, your perceptions, and perspective on all of the things that we will cover, all centered around living in liberty. Living in liberty. There's probably about 10 of you that are on right now. If you will each share this broadcast on your page and then tag as many people as you choose to, and to alert them that we are on the air and invite them to come over and be a part of this conscious conversation, I would appreciate it. I'd like to have as many people involved as we possibly can, so we can hear all the differing perspectives and perceptions and thoughts from everyone as we delve into what I believe is this impactful conscious conversation that we will have today. Good to see you, Theresa, and I'm so glad that you're inviting Gloria, Stephanie, Jamie, Rachel. I've been missing all of them lately, and so I hope that they get the alert and that they will come on. Good morning to you, Diane, as well. It is great to be alive. Good morning, Dee Dee. Michael, man, I've missed you, bruh. It is so good to see you. There's Gloria. Good to see you on here as well. And any others of you that may not have chimed in. I see numbers. I don't see names unless you make a comment. So if you make a comment, then I'll know that you're on and I can acknowledge your presence as well. It'd be good if each of you who are on would just say hello, good morning, how you doing, or hey, or something. So we'll know that you're out there and we can acknowledge your presence here with us in this conversation. Y'all like my shirt? I like this shirt right here. I ordered this from a young lady, a Facebook friend. I wish I could remember how to pronounce Ronisha. I can't remember the last name, but she does absolutely wonderful designs, and she designed this shirt. It's a very nice shirt. I like this shirt a lot. Black Kings, and it has all of the nutritional facts. Talks about melanin and I'm doing that. Melanin, leadership, motivator, provider, protector. I mean, it's a really, really neat idea. I love the shirt. I hope that you liked it as well. All right, so I'm trying to give a little bit of space and time for others to jump on and join us in the conversation. Those of you who are watching us by way of YouTube, please take a moment and copy the link that you see there to share this broadcast, and you can send it out in your group text, in your group messenger, to your friends, your loved ones, and invite them to tune in. They're able to click on that link and join us in this conversation right away. So take a moment and do that. Thank you, Diana. I think it's a nice shirt too. I really like it. I really, really like it. So take a moment and do that. But there is Stephanie. Lord have mercy. I missed you. It is so good to see you over here. I'm telling you, you and Rachel, y'all put me down. I was like, well, what in the world? So it's good to see you. I'm sorry, no, I understand. I'm sure your life gets busy. Everybody's life gets busy. I miss you too. So glad that you are here. I am so glad that you are here. So let's get started, if you will. This conversation, I think it's going to be really good. We'll incorporate some of the news of the day, but it is not just going to be about the news of the day. It is relevant to the entirety of your life and how you are being as you are becoming in this three-dimensional experience that we call life on earth. how you are being and how you are becoming. Not necessarily how you are experiencing, because the experience is the purpose, it's the reason you are here, so that the all of everything that is God, the Creator, can experience itself in three-dimensional form and have a multiplicity of unique experiences through all of the humans that are being and becoming. I don't know if you even could hear me clearly. I had the mic sitting way over there, so I brought it over here so you'd be able to hear me. So the entire purpose of our being, the ultimate purpose, the overriding general purpose of humanity is to provide God, to provide the all of everything, the Creator, with the opportunity to fully experience itself uniquely through all of the multiplicities of humans that are being and becoming. All those that have been and have transitioned or reincarnated, reinstated, reanimated, and those that are animated now, that are being and becoming. God is able then to experience itself as the all of everything. When you are the all of everything, and that is all that is, then you cannot experience all that is unless you have all that is not. And so, in order for the all that is to experience all that there is not, it had to individuate itself, uniquely express itself in a form that is not itself, so that it is able to experience itself being itself. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? I hope so. Jamie, good to see you. Bree, good to see you. Yes, good to see you. Glad that you guys have joined me this morning. And so, in allowing the all, I'm sorry, the all of everything allowing itself to be expressed individually, uniquely, as the different individuals, individuations, expressions, animations of itself in three-dimensional form, it then enabled itself to experience itself fully as the all of everything through all of the millions, billions, trillions of unique experiences that it would have in form within this three-dimensional existence that we call life on earth. And so in doing so, we are each a divine, that makes each of us rather a divine, unique expression of God. Now, I'm going to use as a basis a few scriptural texts. That was a mouthful. Repeat that again. Okay, now you got it. Good. All right. All right. Scriptural text from the Bible as a basis for the conversation about living in liberty. There are three principal texts that I want to use, even though there are several more that I could call up. But there are three principal ones that I want to use. The first one is in Galatians chapter 5, verse 1, which says to stand fast, that is to remain consistent, persistent in the liberty, that is the total freedom wherewith the Christos or Christ or the presence, essence, and the isness of God in form has made us free. Not has set you free, has made us free. We were created free. We were never in bondage. The only bondage that you have ever experienced is the illusionary bondage that you created within your own mind. You've never been in bondage. You've never been bound to anything. You have only been bound delusionarily to the thoughts or the concepts that you have accepted as your truth that then began to set a parameter for the choices, behaviors, and experiences that you would have. The bondage is all imaginary. It is a figment of your imagination because you were made free. You became or behaved bound because of what you accepted as true. And so that lie, that delusion put you in a self-imposed bondage or your own personal prison that you create. But you were made free. And when you began to have an encounter with actual truth, that the way you are able to discern whether it is true or not is that the scripture says you will become intimately acquainted with truth. That is, no truth. And the truth, here it is, here is the discerning factor, will make you free. Doesn't set you free because you were never really in bondage. It makes you free because it awakens you to the reality of your liberty, the liberty that you were created with and came into this three-dimensional experience with. So Galatians says that we are encouraged and admonished to stand fast, to stand consistently, to remain steadfast, consistent, persistent in the absolute, and I meant to use that word, the absolute liberty or freedom wherewith the Christ consciousness, the essence, the being, the Spirit of God has made or created you free. And be not entangled, he says, again. He's using the term again because the people that he's speaking to found themselves now mentally assenting to the rules, regulations, and laws of Judaism being placed upon them, forged upon them by the religious community of their day. And he was like, man, listen, you weren't created this way. You're not tied and tethered to a bunch of rules and regulations. So don't be entangled again. Don't allow, now that you've been encountered this truth, now that this truth has awakened you to your liberty, stay away from those thoughts, ideas, concepts, ideologies, practices that will entangle you with that yoke of self-imposed bondage where you feel stuck, tied, tethered, and constrained by a set of rules and regulations that you have heaped upon yourself by accepting them as your truth. That's text number 1, Galatians 5, verse 1. The second one is in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23. It says, all things, listen to what this revelatory message is speaking. All things, how much is all? That's everything. That includes everything. All things are lawful for me. Listen to what he said. Everything is lawful. There is nothing that I cannot do. There is nothing that I cannot do. There is nothing against the law for me. There is nothing that is out of bounds. There is nothing that will anger, upset, piss off, disappoint, let down God that I could ever choose to do. Nothing. And I've talked about this before, that whole idea of disappointing, letting God down, and all this other stuff before. Hey, TV, yeah, that's all right. You're a little late, but you're here. Okay? That because in order that requires something. In order for God to be let down or disappointed, then it would mean that God would have to have an expectation that hasn't been met. And that's impossible because God knows everything. So, in order for God to be omniscient, that is all knowing, it cannot, by virtue of its omniscience, ever be let down or disappointed because it knows everything. And so, because it knows everything, there is no choice or decision that I could ever make that God did not have foreknowledge of that choice or decision. So I am always choosing and doing exactly what God knew and knows that I will do. So it can't be disappointed. Okay? So it says there is nothing out of bounds. 1 Corinthians 3, 1 Corinthians 10, rather, 23. There is nothing out of bounds. Everything is lawful. There is nothing that I cannot choose to do. I hear some that are already, as you're listening, going, yeah, but that's not all that it say. I know it. I'm going to quote the other part. Don't play with me. Okay? Trust me, I know this book. I posted earlier the other day. I'm like, don't come quoting scriptures and stuff to me because I've forgotten more about this Bible than most people will ever learn. So please don't. Okay. I know what it says. All things are lawful, but, and here's where everybody, see, there it comes. There it is. There, hallelujah, glory to God and glory. There you thank God for the but. Because you are so attached to your bondage, the liberty, it frightens you. All things are lawful, nothing out of bounds, nothing I cannot do, but all things are not expedient. What does the word expedient mean? It means that everything does not serve my highest good. Everything does not serve to elevate me or to help me evolve into the highest, best version of myself. Not that it's wrong, not that it's sinful, not that it's going to cause me to go to hell and be destroyed and I'm going to be cursed with the curse. None of that. Okay? It's simply saying, does this thing that is lawful for me to do serve my highest good? Is it expedient for me? Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Woo, there it is. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. And the problem that many people, especially religious people, have with this whole idea of liberty and freedom is that it means I then have to be responsible for the choices and the decisions as well as the consequences or the effect of the seeds of causation that I put in motion, that I have to live with my choices. And so, because we are so afraid of that and we fear the responsibility of managing our freedom, it becomes much easier to be manipulated and controlled by a religious ideology that sets out a list of rules and regulations of do's and don'ts so that you can then feel safe that as long as I keep the rules, then I'm good. But that's not living. That is merely existing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's just existing. You're not really living. Living an abundant life means that I live without fear, without doubt, without concern about whether God's going to be mad and the boogeyman's going to get me and somebody's going to do this, that, and the other. And man, real abundant life is living in your liberty. You feeling, knowing, experiencing that you have the freedom, the liberty to choose whatever best serves you. And that changes from moment to moment, from day to day in some circumstances. What may best serve you today may not best serve you tomorrow. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I put in a very long, hard, arduous day of work a couple of days ago. And I mean, I was drained out in that hot sun, back and forth, and just doing all, and I was tired, and I was worn, and I was sore. So the next day, I was still tired, still sore, still had not gotten enough rest. What had served me best the day before, which was to get out there and hustle and make some things happen, was not what served me best the very next day, a few hours later. What served me best that day was to stay my big behind home and sit on a couch and get some rest and drink some water and coffee and relax a bit and give my body some time to recuperate. So I'm saying that to say that what serves your highest good one day may not be what is best for you the next day. But true liberty is knowing I have the choice, the liberty and the freedom to choose whatever best serves me, what is expedient for me in that moment. The last text is 2 Corinthians 3:17, which says, now the Lord, that is God, is that Spirit. And he was going on to talk about how the Spirit transforms, reshapes, reborn. All of you, that's the context of the text. And he ends it by saying, now the Lord is that Spirit, that same Spirit. And then he says, here's the principle, here is the eternal truth. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, wherever the Spirit exists, wherever it is present, there is absolute freedom. Now, let me help some of my churchy folk out. That is not where the Spirit of the Lord is not talking about when you shouting, dancing, speaking in tongues, rolling on the floor, spitting bubbles, running up and down the aisles. It is not when the prophet is slapping you on the head and pouring oil down your head and it's running down on your clothes and leaving a stain that you can't ever get out. It is not even talking about when you walk into, a particular place and you feel a quickening and a shiver down your spine, or you awaken from a dream and surely the Lord is in this place. And I didn't know it. Oh, Lord, that is a misinterpretation. It means exactly what it says. Wherever the Spirit of God is, there is absolute liberty and freedom. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The Spirit of God is omnipresent. That is, it is everywhere at the same time. There is no place that God is not. Woo! Let me say that again. There is no place that God is not. God is in you and as you and through you. But God is above you, beneath you, beside you, around you. God is at your job, in your house, at your school, in your neighborhood, in your car. God is in every place. So wait a minute, hold on. If that is true, Bree, Theresa, if this is true, that the Spirit is everywhere, and wherever the Spirit is, there is complete liberty, then because the Spirit is in me, and I am experiencing the Spirit in every place, there is no place I am not free. Oh, I didn't mean to bang it like that. There is no place I or you are not. Let's start falling down. We banging on the table. Okay, I'm behaving myself. There is no place that you and I do not have absolute liberty and freedom. No place. The only time you ever experience limitation, constraint, constriction, or bondage is when you accept that as true in your own mind. The moment your mind shifts and you awaken and become consciously aware that I am at liberty to be and to do and to become whatever I choose in every place, space, or time, then the bondage vanishes. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That is the ultimate of being divine. You cannot be an expression of the divine and then at the same time be limited. Because the divine, that is spirit, has no limitation. And it is in every place at the same time, and wherever it is, there is complete, total, without bondage, without limitation, liberty. Freedom. Freedom to do what? Freedom to be, to choose, to think, to become. We create, yes, we become voluntary slaves, Bree. We are creating our own bondage. We become voluntary slaves. Are you hearing me? Yeah, because we make the choice to limit ourselves to whatever it is that we have accepted as true. Now, let's bring in one of the conversations of the day, the overturn of Roe v. Wade. I had so many, oh my goodness, Christian, Jewish, and other religious people, and even some black nationalists coming after me because they're like, how can you support abortion? How can you? I do not support abortion. What I support is the freedom to choose, because that is the liberty that we are given as divine beings. We are given the liberty to choose. Are you understanding what I'm saying? With all of its consequences, with all of its outcomes, with all of its eventualities, we are given as divine individuations, expressions, and animations of the all of everything. We are given absolute liberty to choose. Choose how we will be, how we will become. Choose our experiences, our connections, our encounters. Choose those that what we will allow and disallow in our life, those that we will connect with and disconnect from. We are given the liberty to choose, and no one gets to decide for you or for me what our choices should be, or if it is right or wrong. Right and wrong are relative to the individual, because what is right for you may be completely wrong for me. See, we have an issue with freedom and liberty because we want freedom for ourselves and limitation for everyone else. Lord, I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen right now. We want freedom for ourselves, free to do what we want, be who we want, choose what we want, live how we want. But we don't want to afford that same freedom and liberty to everyone and everything else. Everyone, every divine individuation has the liberty. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, liberty to choose whatever path they should choose to take. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? We are asking people to make choices every single day. Every day. The essence of our existence in this earth is that we are making and we are asking others to make choices every moment of every day. No matter what your occupation. Keith is a real estate agent. She is asking people to choose. Choose to use her. Choose what house they're going to buy. Choose the price range they're going to operate in. Choose what they're willing to put down. They are given the freedom to choose. Are you hearing me? Whatever it is, whether you're a hairstylist or you're a banker or you are a breeze, a pharmacist, you are still asking people to choose. And if you are a good business person, you're asking them to choose you. Choose your service. In relationship, you are choosing who. That's why I get, people carry on about my baby daddy this, my baby mama. You chose them. So, as terrible as you might view them now, there was a point where you chose to be with them. You chose to be with them, have a relationship, have sex with them multiple times. You chose that. No good, they trifling trash, ain't doing it yet. You chose them. I know that's a hard one for people to deal with. But that trifling Negro, you chose. She ain't nothing but a hoe. You chose that hoe. She was your hoe. You chose them. Now, they may not be your choice anymore, but at some point, they were your choice. Oh, goodness. I'm crying real tears. Oh, oh my. Okay. You, you made a choice. Are you hearing what I'm saying? How many of you have ever looked back at an old photograph and saw yourself in something? You're like, Lord, what in the world was I thinking? You chose those clothes. You chose to take the photograph and you grinning in that picture because you think you really look good. But I said I use that as an example to show how our choices evolve over a period of time as our perception and perspective evolves. Are you hearing me? Our choices all evolve as we evolve, but no one can take away your choice. Are you hearing what I'm saying? No one can take away your choice. You are choosing the experiences, expressions, and encounters of your life every single day, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are choosing, and then you are creating the world in which you live in. We all live within the matrix of the reality that we create for ourselves. And in that matrix, you are the King of Kings. You are the Lord of Lords. You are the God of your garden. And so everything that exists within that matrix is there because you said, let there be, whether consciously or unconsciously. You made a choice. The very essence of our divinity is our ability and capacity to choose. Are you hearing me? And so, no government, not just the United States, but every place, no government can legislate a person's choice. It cuts to the very essence of our being. Are you hearing me? Okay? And I had a few people who foolishly tried to equate this with the vaccine and with wearing masks in the sense of saying, well, you didn't give us a choice with the vaccine, then the mask. Yeah, you did have a choice. There were vaccine mandates, there were mask mandates, but none of them carried the penalty of a felony. You weren't going to be arrested or thrown in jail or charged with a felony and have to face real prison time. You realize that that's what's happening in many of these states already. Trigger laws put in place right now have criminalized abortion, people who have abortions, people who perform abortions, traveling across the state line to get an abortion, people who help others having an abortion. But nobody was throwing you in jail because you didn't take a vaccine. Clearly, because you're still sitting out right now, moaning and complaining about it. Okay? But anytime choices are legislated, there's a backlash. And it doesn't work. It simply does not work. That's why religion is such an object failure. Because religion tries to codify the choices and decisions that its followers can make. You can choose this, but you can't choose that. You can do this, but you can't do that. You can have this, but you can't have that. You can live here, but you can't live there. You can be this, but you can't do that. You can have this. You can experience this, but you can't experience that. All religions, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, all of them have all of these things that they codify as these are the doctrines, rules, regulations, and principles by which you must live in order to be a part of our club. And that is why religion is such an abject failure. That is why even what they teach, preach, and espouse is blatantly contradicted by the reality of what they experience. Blatantly contradicted. Because it does not work. It doesn't work. I don't care how long it's been around. I don't care how much of a good idea you think it is. And I don't really care about how many people agree with it. When you try, and the worst thing that you can do, the thing that the soul resists more than anything else, is limitation. When you try and place limitations on the souls of men, mankind, not men in gender, but mankind, on the souls of humanity, you will always lose 100% of the time. Because the soul is not created to be limited, constrained, and confined. It is meant to be able to freely experience and express itself across every dimensional realm and every iteration of its being. Ooh, let me say that again. That resonated. I felt that when I said it. I said the soul is designed and created to experience and express itself freely across every dimension and every iteration of its being. And anytime you seek to confine, constrain, and take away the liberty of the soul, it is a losing proposition. It's a losing proposition. You can try even imposing your will against the soul's ultimate desire that is in alignment with your most dominant thought. Yet you try and impose your personal will against that desire and thought. You might last a while, but you will ultimately lose, because the soul will find a way to experience and express what it desires. Y'all don't believe that. Let me give you some of your Bible, y'all, those of you who love the Bible. This is the internal struggle war that Paul was writing about in Romans chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8. In chapter 7, he says, the very thing that I keep saying I'm not going to do, I find myself doing. And the very thing that I say that I am going to do, I can't find a way to do it. To will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. Oh, wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of sin? Because see, he had accepted as his truth the erroneous idea that the problem was his human form, when in fact it was the limitations that his religion, had tried to place on his soul. And so his soul desired one thing, the love of another man. Yeah, I said it. He was a closeted homosexual. And so he wrestled with himself, saying, no, his religion demanded absolutely not. You cannot, you'll be stoned to death. It's an abomination. So he spent the entirety of his adult life denying who he was, fighting with himself. Woo! Now, I know I just lost all of my church folk right there. I know, right? Then, no, you're not going to say that my apostle Paul was a homosexual. All evidence points to it. And I don't even have time to sit here and just go through all of that. But just study his life. All evidence points to it. And his testimony, I had this thorn in my flesh that no matter how many times I kept asking God to take away, he wouldn't take it from me. He just said, my grace is sufficient for you. This thorn, the very thing that I kept saying that I wasn't going to do, I found myself right back there again, doing it again. I kept saying I wasn't going to go back to this, I wasn't going to do this no more. But the soul wants what the soul desires. The soul desires what it desires. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? And so the thing that the soul resists more than anything in this experience that we call life is a limitation. It's one of the reasons we talked about this before, that we go to sleep every night. So the soul, in its agreement with the all of everything, saying if I'm going to operate and occupy this three-dimensional form, I need those moments where I can fully divorce myself of form so I can fully experience and express myself in what we call sleep. Is the opportunity for the soul to leave the conscious awareness of this form and experience itself fully and freely across every iteration and dimension of being. We talked about that before, though. So if that is case, if that is the case at the substratum of our being, at the essence of our soul, then what do you think in our conscious awakening, conscious awareness, conscious being in this three-dimensional form we should be doing? Aren't you miserable enough with all of the binding, limiting, constraining, constricting limitations that religion, society, culture, environment has placed upon you already? Trying to live up to this one's expectation, that one, your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your churches, your bishops, your followers, your employees, your family, your friends, your culture, your environment. You're trying to live up to everybody else's expectation, trying to be something that they'll be proud of. I'm going to make you proud. It's not your job to make them proud. It's your job to be happy. Ooh, I know I just stepped on somebody right there. Lord have mercy. I'm going to say it again. It's not your job to make them proud or anybody else proud. It's your job to experience your life happily, exceedingly and abundantly happy, full, free. Stop living your life trying to please somebody else, trying to make somebody else happy, living by a set of rules that have been set down by men. Got rules for everything. I'm gonna tell you, how to be black and how to be white and how to be rich and how to be poor. And this is how rich people behave. This is how poor people behave. And this is what marriage is. If you marry, you're supposed to be like this and think like this and behave like this and do like this and have this, that, and the other. And if you're not married, then you ain't supposed to do this. Who said? Marriage does not define you. Relationships do not define you. It's the other way around. You define marriage. You define the relationship. It's the two people that define the relationship. And it is whatever they choose for it to be. If it works for them, if it is in their best interest, if it is helps them to be their highest and best version of themselves, then that's their relationship, their definition, their choice, their liberty, their freedom. Who is a government or a society to decide this kind of relationship is unacceptable? This kind of pairing and coupling is unacceptable. Who said so? Imagine how much happier everybody would be if you just paid attention to what works for you and quit worrying about what works for others. Stop trying to impose your will and your beliefs, your ideology, your tropes, your prejudices, your limitations on everyone and everything about around. Stop trying to create God in your image and then everything else around you in your image. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. That's why you're so hard and crazy about your children, because you want them to reflect you instead of be them. Ooh. Ooh. I know that stung right there. I felt that mistake. That stung right there, didn't it? Hmm? But the truest essence of love is allowing them to decide and figure out, just like you did, what is best for them, which may not be what you think is best for them. But it's not about you. They have to be afforded the same liberty, same freedom, same choice that you have. Ooh, ooh. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Living in liberty. Can you fully embrace your liberty and freedom? And can you make space for others to do the same? Without judgment, without fear, without condemnation. Live in your total liberty and freedom and create space for everyone you encounter to do the same. And I'm not offended because your choice doesn't align with my choice. I'm not offended if your choice does not align with my choice. Yes, yes. Teresa said most of the time it's not what I think is best for them. Yes. Okay. Can we allow people the liberty, the space to live in the liberty of their own choices and decisions while we afford ourselves the same? I want to help free as many of you as I can this morning who are tuned in. There's about 13, 14 of you on right now. I want to free every single one of you. I want you to know that you are free to live to be and become whatever your soul desires. There is no condemnation. There is no judgment. There is no punishment. There is no wrath. There is simply cause and effect, choice and consequence. Okay? Seed, harvest, sow, reap. That's it. But there is no limitations on what your choices are. Start to choose you. What best serves you. And in interpersonal relationships, then you are seeking those who can align with your choice, and you can align with their choice, creating a harmonious melody. That's it. That's it. Whether they are friends or they are romantic partners or sexual encounters or acquaintances, it's all about the vibrational harmony that you both have accepted for that moment. And because we are evolving beings, that frequency, harmony may not last forever. And who says it had to? Oh, I know I'm really barbecuing some sacred cows this morning. I know, because you've been told your whole life that, you're going to meet the one. That's the person you're supposed to be with for the rest of your entire life until the death do you part. Maybe that might happen for you. Maybe not. We are evolving beings, and there's no guarantee that you and the person you are with now will evolve in the same direction, at the same rate, in a harmonious way. Your union may be for the moment to bring you both to the point in the path where the road forks, and you choose two different forks. That doesn't make the relationship a waste of time. It served its purpose. That doesn't make one or the other person bad. They serve their purpose. Remember, you chose the relationship. I know, man, talk about barbecuing some cows. And Diana says, I had to come to terms with letting go of my children so they could become themselves. I had to let go of my ideas of what I wanted for them, especially now they have more choices than I ever had. Exactly. That is so true. We have mature conversations about life choices. I don't pass down things, yes, that are negative. Oh, I forgot that I could put y'all question statements on the screen. Okay, I'm going to put what Diana just said. She said, I had to come to terms with letting go of my children so that they can become themselves. I had to let go of my ideas of what I want for them, especially now that they have more choices than I had. And she went on to say, we have mature conversations about life choices. I don't pass down things that are negative. Absolutely. Yeah. Teresa says, I'm so glad I'm releasing that pressure. Me too. Me too. Me too. I'm telling you, our whole idea and concept around marriage
relationships, divorce, all the things. It's all based upon human societal norms and have absolutely nothing to do with the reality of the liberty of the soul. And because we have not been taught, most of us, we were not taught the difference between a soulmate, which there are several different types of soulmate, soul friends, soul instructors, and so on, and then a twin flame. We have been taught your whole life to look for a soulmate and that that's your life partner forever, when in fact they may not be. Or they may indeed be, but that forever may be broken up over several iterations of life. Woo! Now we're getting into something even heavier. That they are destined and designed to be a part of your present life for a present period of time, and then disconnect and reconnect in the next life. And it may not even be in this dimension, it might be in a different dimension. That's a whole other conversation. Okay. How I'm showing my age? What you talking about? I say you showing your age. How I'm showing my age? I'm getting ready to get off to Bree. She said, okay, I gotta get ready for work. Chat later. Have a great day. I'm so glad that you joined us. I really am. We're getting ready to get off to it's already been an hour. It's time for me to get off. It's been over an hour. Okay. All right. So this has been a really good, stimulating conversation. I am so glad that all of you came and joined me this morning and participated. Um, you guys make this platform what it is, and so I appreciate you. Do take advantage of the opportunity to give today if you are here and you'd like to support the work or to just demonstrate your gratitude and how you appreciate what we are doing here, these conversations. The Cashapp as well as Zelle is on the screen. You're able to give right now and just be as generous as you choose to be. Whatever you give, I am grateful and thankful for it. It helps me, it encourages me, and it helps me to continue to build and expand upon this platform. If you're going to do so, take a moment, do it right now so you don't forget about it. Get your phone out. Go ahead and open up your Cash App or your Zelle, your banking mobile app, and send whatever gift you're going to give. Send. Do it now. And it doesn't matter what that amount is, whether it's $1 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $1,000,000. I don't think you can send $1,000,000 through Cash App or even Zelle for that matter. You can break it up into payments and then send $1,000,000. Or you just reach out to me in the inbox and then I'll send you an address. So I'll come meet you if you don't give $1,000,000. I'll fly to you. I'm laughing, but I'm serious because there's some of you that are on here that can afford to give $1,000,000. $1,000,000 ain't nothing to you. The others of you can give $1,000. That ain't nothing to you. You got way more than that just sitting in the bank collecting dust. And there's others of you to give $1 or $5 is a lot. I appreciate each and every single one. Thank you for your support. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get up off here. Let you get about the rest of your day. I'm going to get about mine as well. I still haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. Can you believe it, Diana? I haven't had my first cup of coffee, but I'm about to go and do it right now. You guys have an absolutely fantastic, splendid. Where was Toya this morning? Wait a minute. Hold on. That's a national emergency. Because Toya's always on here. Diana, check on your sister. Woo, that, man, that concerns me. Okay, y'all find Toya. All right. Anyway, yeah, Kiwi, not yet. I haven't had it yet, so I have got to get my cup of coffee on. Or two or three or four. Okay. Oh, she was? Okay. I didn't see her. I didn't see it. All right. Well, good. All right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. I'll see you on Thursday, 7:30. All right.